With the first week of free agency now pretty much gone, it's just gone. The Las Vegas Raiders are now in a position where, okay, you kind of kept some guys, you filled some needs. You lost some guys. Yeah, it is what it is. But now we are here to give you a full recap of the first week of free agency for the Las Vegas Raiders. We're going to have some fun doing it too. Now, if any of you have watched our latest videos for our recaps for free agency for our other teams, you just know it. Yes, hey, listen, it's just business. So, just a recap. Yes, this is for Monsters vs. Aliens. Fantastic way to just get a segue into kind of what happened for the Las Vegas Raiders. And yes, you can tell me that you weren't thinking of it, but you were. You were, absolutely. So, first off, additions. Yes, the big one. Jimmy Garoppolo coming over from the 49ers, who signed a 3-year, $72.75 million deal. Last year, he had 2,437 passing yards as well as 16 touchdown passes and 4 interceptions. If you ask me, Jimmy G has never been the reason that the 49ers have won a game, but he's also in my mind, never been a reason that they've lost. They win. And Jimmy G has figured out how to be a winner, and I do think that there's a possibility he could bring that to the Raiders as well once things kind of get rolling here and they get the dudes that they want in there. And then, yes, the linebacker, Robert Spillane, coming over from the Steelers, who signed a 2-year, $7 million deal. I like this piece as far as a depth piece. If you can't find anybody else in the draft, having a guy like Spillane in there, I definitely think will help out this Raiders defense, especially at the linebacker position. Last year for Pittsburgh, he had 79 tackles, a sack, as well as a 52.5 PFF grade. I like the signing. Then, yes, bringing in Jakobi Meyers from the Patriots. I mean, come on. Dave Ziegler and, yes, Josh McDaniels and company, knowing who they can get, and they brought in their guy, Jakobi Meyers, who, was single-handedly responsible for a win for the Raiders last year, but hey, it is what it is. It's a 3-year deal worth $33 million. Last year, Jakobi Meyers had his best year in the NFL, 67 catches, 804 yards, and 6 touchdowns, but I do think he's going to make a solid number 2 to Davante Adams, excuse me. And, the Raiders could also pick somebody up in the draft, but, that we'll just see what happens when we get there. Safety Marcus Peters, or Epps, coming over from the Eagles, the former Viking, who they drafted in the 6th round back in the day, but he signed a 2-year deal with the Raiders worth $12 million. I think Marcus Epps is a fantastic safety. I think he's going to help out Trayvon Moehrig and really help out that secondary room and do a lot of good things. Last year, 94 tackles, 6 passes defensed, had a 56.3 PFF grade, but I do think it's going to get a lot better from there. Also, wide receiver Philip Dorsett coming over from the Texans on a 1-year, $1.2 million deal. I love it. Getting him and Keelan Cole, who we will cover in just a second back, is absolutely huge. Last year, Dorsett had 20 catches for 257 yards and a touchdown. Brendan Faceson, hey, it's good to have you back, baby. What's the song? It's like, I don't know. Just let us know of a song, in the comment section now, down below, if you know of a song that's like, hey, it's good to have you back, or a good comeback song, whatever. But coming back over from the Colts and signing a 2-year, $3.5 million deal with the Raiders. Last year, 28 tackles and 6 passes defensed for Indianapolis. Also had a 56.2 PFF grade. You gotta love it. Then yes, signing Jacob Bobenmoyer, the long snapper away from Denver, on a 3-year, $3.8 million deal. I don't even know what to put in for stats for long snappers. I really don't. Maybe just tackles. I don't know. But OJ Howard, the tight end, coming over from the Texans as well. Huge signing, if you ask me. I absolutely think that he could be a one-on-one replacement for Darren Waller. I do definitely think it's possible. And at a fraction of the cost on a 1-year, $1.03 million deal. I love it. I absolutely love it. 10 catches for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Texans last year. I definitely think this could be something that really does help out the Raiders. Then Jordan Willis coming over from the 49ers, who signed a 1-year deal worth up to $1.1 million. Yes, 12 total tackles, 2 sacks, and a 70.6 PFF grade. I think he's going to be a solid depth piece, a guy that can play inside and outside and do a lot of different things for you. Yes, he's famous for that, for blocking that punt against the Green Bay Packers a couple of years ago. I think it was in the divisional round, but yes, did send them to the NFC title game. And then who did you lose? Well, defensive end Clelin Ferrell. He signed a 1-year, $2.5 million deal with the 49ers, so you kind of traded him out with Jordan Willis. Clelin Ferrell, 26 total tackles last year, 2 sacks, and a 63.8 PFF grade. It is what it is. Some would say he's a loss, some would say he's not, but it is what it is. Also, quarterback Jarrett Stidham, leaving for the Denver Broncos, signing a 2-year, $10 million deal. Had 656 yards passing last year, as well as 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. We saw some good things from him. We really did. But overall, he leaves for the Broncos, and I wish him nothing but the best. And then, yes, one that kind of did hurt me a little bit, seeing Andrew Billings go all the way to the Bears for a 1-year, $3.5 million deal. And I felt like, come on. I felt like the Raiders definitely could have matched that one, but I guess, I don't know. It is what it is. I guess we will live to see another day. So, yes, he did have 39 tackles and a sack, but overall it is going to be interesting. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that the Raiders have just over $18 million in cap space here. Actually, here we go. And that is before the deals that were signed today. So more like 16, 17 million that you still have over left in cap space, but you do overall love it. Now, who did you keep? Who did you keep? All right, so you kept Brandon Parker on a 1 year, $1.5 million deal. He was on IR last year because of his triceps. Love it. I think maybe you could find a guy there that does play well for you. You can maybe scrounge something out of that, definitely. Tight end Jesper Horsted also re-signing on a 1 year, $1.01 million deal, 3 catches for 19 yards in 15 games. Okay. Also re-signing running back Amir Abdullah, huge, absolutely huge, on a 1 year, $1.75 million deal, huge bargain for one of the best pass catching backs in the NFL. That's right, I said it. One of the best pass catching backs in the entire NFL. He had 25 catches for 211 yards and a touchdown. I think he has definitely carved out himself out a role with the Raiders. Now, they also signed Netanya Muti. I know that's not even close to correct, but you re-signed him after he played 28 snaps. Did have a penalty, but overall he had a 64.3 PFF grade last year, so it's good to have him back. Also, re-signing defensive tackle Jerry Tillery on a 2 year, $6.8 million deal. I love it. He had 10 tackles in 8 games and a 49.8 PFF grade, but I'm going to like to see what he does with a full year under his belt with Josh McDaniels and company. Also, you re-signed fullback Jacob Johnson on a 1 year, $1.6 million contract. I think he had 5 catches for 10 yards last year, but I mean, hey, he was huge for bringing back Josh Jacobs. Oh, by the way, yes, you bring back Josh Jacobs on a franchise tag. I love it, bringing back the big man to run and tote the football for you. It's fantastic. Oh, yes, re-signing tackle, Jermaine Illuminor on a 1 year contract. I absolutely loved it. He had played 940 snaps last year, had 10 total penalties and 3 sacks, as well as a 75.3 PFF grade. I love it. I felt like he was a player that really played above his contract, and he definitely earned an extension. Then you also re-signed, Haranas Grasu, a 1 year contract. No terms have been released, but it is what it is. Played 68 snaps last year for you. Had 2 penalties and a sack, and a 56.1 PFF grade. Also, Curtis Bolton finding his way back. He had 5 tackles last year. I definitely think he could be a guy you want to keep an eye on as far as a special teamer. And then, yes, today it was announced that you re-signed Keelan Cole. No terms announced there again, but he did have 10 catches for 141 yards and a touchdown last year. So, again, adding a very solid piece to the wide receiver room. But overall, I really like what the Raiders did. They didn't overspend. Even Jimmy G, his contract was pretty reasonable. I think that the Raiders, they still got a little bit of cap space. They could make some noise. They could do some different things, but I definitely think that they are moving in the right direction in terms of free agency. Like, you don't go all out. You don't spend a big money on guys that are definitely up. And I think they might have learned their lesson last year with Chandler Jones. But overall, I think this is a solid free agency so far for the Raiders, and it does help them a lot as they go into the draft. A lot of these positions are now crossed off, or at least there's an asterisk next to them, so that way when moving forward, you can definitely reassemble this team. But that's it. That is our 2023 Las Vegas Raiders free agency recap. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truthfully awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms. So give us a like and a follow. Also remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put it in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think about our 2023 Las Vegas Raiders free agency recap.